Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. And we are doing our Married to Medicine season 11. They're on season 11. This is the premiere, episode one. And I'm using copyright disclaimer under section 707 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And it allows me, for purposes of criticism, comment, news, reporting, to give my opinion for fair use. And when I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. So we have this episode called Guess Who's Coming to Whitney? And that is going to be a play on Freaknik because we have Dr. Simone and he's not a doctor, Dr. Simone and her husband Cecil. They still have him listed as a real estate agent. We've seen him open numerous businesses on the show, but this season he is real estate agent. So they are doing a Freaknik inspired 35th anniversary themed party. But we start out where we meet the ladies again because everybody who we see has been there before. So we had Dr. Jackie and a patient. I love to see Dr. Jackie with her patient. She's actually in her element when she is doing that, even though we had a little bit of news via Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Jackie was caught out there saying some disparaging things about Black women trying to get written off work, kind of complaining about things that may or may not be wrong, and seeing the doctor 25 times during a pregnancy. Just really hurtful things Dr. Jackie said. And Annie Cohen let her apologize, and they swept it right on under the rug. They just kind of skipped by that, but we'll see, because they start out and it's a heartwarming scene. Dr. Jackie with her patient, but when they do things, certain things, and I feel that the apology is only to stop people talking about it or to just move along from that, I'm going to bring it up when I need to remind people of that. So we have Dr. Jackie and her patient. Next, we have Dr. Simone and Cecil talking about the party. And let's see, Dr. Heavenly, instead of sending flowers, she's going to bring these flowers to Quad's house. She broke in the vase in Quad's driveway, dropped it and broke it. So she comes in, water dripping all over the place, and apologizes to Quad about what happened last season. Last season, we saw them take Quad to Napa, have her fly out for the trip, and then almost fire her or ask her to leave the trip. They had Simone do it. Simone delivers a lot of daggers to people because she's willing to do it. But it was more than just Simone. She claimed all of the ladies felt that Quad had been distancing herself from them and asked her to leave the trip. And then they had a tough reunion. Dr. Simone brought up a tragedy that happened at Quad's house, family related. Just look that up if you haven't heard about it. Quad was really hurt over it. You could see her pleading with Dr. Simone not to bring that up. Simone got louder and louder. Of course, she couldn't help but bring it up, and she did. So she does owe Quad an apology. Quad apologized to all the ladies already. So we're going to see who will apologize to Quad. Dr. Heavenly is the first one. And Quad says that she's the only one that has reached out to her. So we have Mr. President and Phaedra. Phaedra's taking him to school. This is Phaedra's youngest son. And I love the conversation she has with her children. They are so smart. She's asking him where's his favorite place that they visited. And he said he liked Tokyo, Japan. And he was saying the things he liked. And Phaedra said, oh, they have bidets. I love a clean behind. So Mr. President is back there blushing. But he knows his mother. We know how Phaedra is. Phaedra is a lot. We have Dr. Jean and Toya in their kitchen, kind of flirting with each other. Toya's putting a few things together for breakfast. This couple has grown on me. I like Dr. Eugene and Toya. I'm one of the people that used to kind of drag Toya over them moving every season and things like that. But I've come to realize these two are the two of a kind. They're a pair. They get along together. They love each other. And I like watching Dr. Eugene and Toya. I like the way he defends Toya, because Toya is another one that gets dragged by these doctors, especially at the reunion. And Dr. Simone does that a lot. I was watching the episode not too long ago when they had it out on stage. Toya went into Dr. Simone's room. Dr. Jackie was in there. I don't know if she's going to apologize or what, but they got into it a little bit. And Dr. Simone was screaming at the top of her lungs as Toya was leaving, "With your raggedy brookie." Because sometimes Dr. Simone goes low. But Toya swung back around like she was gonna lunge or fight, and Dr. Eugene broke it up. But they've been through some things over the years. One thing I like about Married to Medicine production, they will show us flashbacks and kind of give the background, especially if someone brings something up. We'll see the background as to what happened. And then a lot of viewers of the show are longtime viewers. I've been since season 1, I've watched the show. Now, when they did what they did with Mariah Huq and were able to maneuver in such a way to get her off the show, isolate her off of her creation, the platform that she gave to all of them, particularly Dr. Heavenly, who Bravo did not want, and Mariah Huq fought for and brought her on. She's some of the fans' favorite now, but she forgets, I think, how she got there. Quad as well. Quad was instrumental in that as well. And I think that's another reason why Quad and Heavenly are going to stay a team. They're going to stay a pair. Even though Dr. Heavenly has said some terrible things about Quad, Quad is never going to stay too mad with Dr. Heavenly because she knows Dr. Heavenly has a big YouTube channel and she's also reckless with her mouth. And a lot of people are not going to check Dr. Heavenly. Mariah said it seasons ago. Y'all let Heavenly say anything. And they do. They do. They accept her little apology. I'm going to say it and I'm going to take it back. And then they let her keep running right over people. And we'll see what's going to happen this season. We already know Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea. Letitia are going to get into it. We already see Dr. Heavenly apologizing to Quad. So she's kind of smoothed that over. So we'll see what other things we have going on this season. We have Whitney. They're planning for that. And then I mentioned that is the 35-year college anniversary of Cecil from Morehouse and Dr. Simone from Spelman. I love that. I love the history that this show gives. And Freaknik. They had an excellent Hulu documentary on Freaknik, how it started out with college students, Atlanta area college students, just wanting to get together. And then it expanded. Black college students from all over come together for their own little spring break. I was of the age group, but I never went during that time because anytime I would think about going, there was always going to be, because you're on a budget, so many people in the room, or you end up with people you don't know and just different things like that. I never went to Freaknik during the height or after. Never did any type of spring break like that. But I do love to travel now. So I'm making up for it. And with Quad saying she apologized to all the ladies, but Dr. Heavenly is the only one that has approached her. We found out later, Dr. Jackie has also apologized to Quad. But Dr. Jackie used to never apologize. The apologies that Dr. Jackie has given leave a lot to be desired. When she did what she did with Buffy, she got up there and spilled Buffy's business. Buffy, you are infertile. Remember that? At a part on stage, Dr. Jackie made that announcement that Buffy was infertile. And then later on, when she found out how hurt Buffy was, she wanted to dismiss Buffy. And she said, I apologize. I said it and done with it. That was her apology. That was so nasty, especially for an OBGYN to get up there and do that. But I'm going to keep bringing up things that they do because they love to sweep under the rug. They're not going to be able to do it. Okay, so we have the Dr. Heavenly and Quad scene. That one's gone. Phaedra and Sweet Tea have a swim date. Sweet Tea cannot swim. Dr. G is concerned because she can't swim, and they need to do something with the filming. So we have Dr. G and Sweet Tea come over to Phaedra's house. Phaedra's sons, of course, can swim. And Phaedra's a Jill of all trades. We've seen Phaedra get her mortuary license. Phaedra does a little bit of everything. Phaedra tells us she was in college. She was a lifeguard. She was something else, water related. She just, all these things. So we have Aiden, Mr. President, Phaedra's younger son. They're going to help Sweet Tea while Dr. Greg and Phaedra sit on the side of the pool and talk. Phaedra asked him, how's everything going? How is Dr. Heavenly doing with Sweet Tea? Because they had that confrontation where Sweet Tea's mother may have gotten after Heavenly verbally at the reunion. Heavenly painted it out like somebody stood up on her or tried to fight or something like that. I don't know details, and we don't really know what the truth is because you usually won't get that from Dr. Heavenly. So Dr. G said that Dr. Heavenly has gone below the belt on him, that the fertility discussions that were happening, that was some of the jabs that Dr. Heavenly was throwing out about Sweet Tea. And that hurt Dr. Greg's feelings. Dr. Heavenly put it out there like, and she knew she couldn't have no baby. She was just talking under Sweet Tea's medical records, which I didn't like. I felt like that was so inappropriate. And then over on her YouTube channel, she sat over there with Carlos King. She's the one that was blamed, but she was sitting there cackling. And Carlos was the one that said, she need to put some eggs and babies on her vision board. He said that. And Heavenly was a party to it, in my opinion, because she should have deaded that right then. Excuse me, no. You don't say that this is my castmate. This is a young woman. She is a newlywed. Don't talk about her like that. Dr. Heavenly could have handled it so many different ways, but she is one of the people that have allowed some of these people to get over here and say whatever they want to say about women. And I don't appreciate that. And if I didn't mention who it was a producer of another show who's wreaking havoc over here, even though it has nothing to do with him, Carlos King. So we had Dr. G and Sweet Tea. They feel justified in Sweet Tea fighting back and saying a lot of things that she was saying. Phaedra says that that's wrong. She said that Dr. Heavenly takes pride in being mean and being a bully. Phaedra's correct about that. I know people are going to say, well, didn't Phaedra, they asked her to leave Real Housewives of Atlanta for lying, this and that. Carlos King was involved in that as well. There was a nasty rumor that went out regarding Candy and Todd that was untrue and played out during a reunion. It was pretty terrible. Carlos King was instrumental in that, supposedly. He claims Bravo didn't fire him, but he's always trying to get back over there. But it looks like maybe they don't want him back. So we have Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon are hosting Dr. Simone, Dr. G at their house. And the Heavenly house looks good, y'all. I think she pressure washed it. Like Mariah told her, pressure wash this MF. Remember Mariah told her that? Pressure wash this MF. Now that's fun shade. It's silly. It's about your house. The house was dirty and now it looks good. So I think she did. I think she did pressure wash it. So Cecil comes in with a bottle of Crown Royal for Dr. Damon. They're gonna have a hibachi grill at the back of the house. They have a chef that came in to do that. Cecil compliments everything that they're doing, and then Cecil's moving the storyline along. He brings up let me see. Simone said they're having a good time, and now Cecil's gonna mess it up because he asked him how Heavenly and Sweet Tea are doing. Heavenly lies and said, you mess with my man, I'm gonna go there. But that's not how it started. Dr. Heavenly was saying derogatory things about Sweet Tea and also talking about Dr. Greg as well. And some of the TikToks that she put up, or maybe it was Twitter, I'm not sure, they flashed it during this episode. One of the words was so egregious in relation to Dr. Greg that they actually blanked it out. Because Sweet Tea has told us that she did drop into Dr. Greg's DMs. Sweet Tea was in her 30s when that happened. I don't think she's 40 yet. She's still in her 30s. But what Dr. Heavenly called Dr. G, a pedia, her saying that below the belt. He didn't know this woman as a minor or a child. She was well up in her 30s. He's a divorced man. He can date whom he wants to date, whether Quad likes it or not. And Quad didn't want this man. We saw what Dr. G and Quad went through on TV. So I don't even know why there would be any conflict toward Quad and Sweet Tea, and why Heavenly is even inserting herself into it. But that's what we have. I mean, you can have conflict to move the show along, but it can be fun. It doesn't have to be about fertility and things like that. I don't understand that. But Heavenly, she's going to go down to the gutter because she doesn't know how to fight fairly. She doesn't know how to really read. Like Nene and them, Sheree, certain things they would say, but they would never say things where you can't recover from it. And Dr. Heavenly, if her allowing a man to speak about her castmates' fertility and mock and make fun, I don't know that her and Sweet Tea, even though they started out as getting to know each other and Dr. Heavenly pretending that she was trying to be her friend, I don't know that they can recover from that, because I wouldn't trust Heavenly as far as I can throw her and crash this woman's wedding. Sweet Tea's first season, she crashed her wedding. She didn't want Dr. Heavenly there. And production told her, I guess, excuse me, they're not going to pay for it if Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon aren't allowed to go in. Now that's some bad energy to walk into somebody's wedding knowing they don't want you there and still go because someone told me, oh, I didn't want you here, or they put me out. You don't have to ask me twice. You don't have to make it a long thing. I'm gone while you're still having the conversation because that's just how I was raised. You don't go, you celebrate it, not tolerate it. You don't bust into somebody's party when you haven't been invited. You didn't get a wedding invitation. Sweet Tea didn't want you there. You don't like this lady. You don't like or respect Dr. Greg, in my opinion. And there's no reason for you to be at her wedding, but you were there because you had the cameras with you and you know you bring the drama and the funny, and people allow Dr. Heavenly to do what she wants to do. So we're going to go back. Let me see. Oh, so I was talking about how they started talking, that Cecil started bringing up Quad. They had talked to her. Dr. Heavenly starts coaching Dr. Simone, on how to apologize to Quad. Dr. Simone, she acknowledges she does owe Quad an apology, but she said that she's not going to be forced into it. She's going to do it on her same time frame, which I agree with Dr. Simone on that. Because Simone, she is very loud, but she is sensitive too, and she does get her feelings hurt. I think she does get upset when Quad acts as if they are not really friends or they're just co-workers, because the Married to Medicine cast, I do believe a lot of these ladies are real friends. I know Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are friends. That's my favorite. These two doctors, when they have their scenes together, they're at lunch. I love that. And Dr. Jackie is always bringing a salad or some type of lettuce. And Simone, she's little, but she's hungry. She's ready to eat. She'll have her sandwiches. I love that. So I know that they're real friends. Dr. Heavenly, to me, her and Dr. Jackie, I guess they're friends. But some of the things I've seen from Dr. Heavenly, it's more as if she's Dr. Jackie's mouthpiece. Dr. Heavenly says the thing that Jackie might feel, but Dr. Jackie will never say because she feels like she's too sophisticated to go in the gutter like Dr. Heavenly will. So Dr. Heavenly and Quad, to me, more so than being real friends, I think they don't want each other as enemies because they know they each have other people with platforms that have been known to fight dirty. Everybody knows that Quad used a certain blogger against Mariah. Those two women were duking it out with each other. And this third party comes in and started to become involved and really put a lot of false information out there on Mariah, did all kind of terrible things. And Dr. Heavenly is associated with someone who does the same. So that makes things kind of nasty. So we see Dr. Simone and Cecil. They're decorated for Whitney, and the party is going to be fun. They're going to be dressed in 90s attire, the salt and pepper type stuff with the haircuts. So Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly get ready together. We see Phaedra and Toya getting dressed in the same bathroom. We see Phaedra's going to wear her booty shorts because it's not going to be Phaedra without booty shorts. So we have Dr. Heavenly and Damon arrive. Next, we have Heavenly. We see a picture of Heavenly. She has been to Freaknik before. They show a picture of her at 20. It's so cute. Alora looks like that, but she definitely had the little cute little kind of like the salt and pepper hair, but she got the young face. Alora looks just like that. Laura's probably one of my favorite Married to Medicine children because when she was little, sometimes she would get on Heavenly about the things that Heavenly would do and say at some of these parties. And Laura was the one keeping her honest because I think Dr. Damon act like he's checked her a couple of times, but sometimes he act like he's scared to say anything to her. So I don't know if the rumors about Dr. Damon are true, but I don't know why he doesn't approach Heavenly with some of the things she says unless it has to be egregious before he even says anything. Like when Dr. Contessa and Dr. Damon were getting into it and Heavenly was trying to pop off, Dr. Damon he finally asked Heavenly to be quiet. He thought he was going to check Dr. Contessa like that, but she's not intimidated. And Dr. Scott didn't even have to step in for his wife and make it a man-to-man thing because Dr. Contessa was holding her ground in her house at her table. Dr. Damon's trying to check her over something. So at this party, they had a DJ. Everybody's driving up in their different lowriders and things like that. They're taking pictures. So Dr. Scott and Contessa, they pull up with Dr. Scott and Contessa rode with Sweet Tea and Dr. G. So when they pull up, Dr. Contessa looks cute too. She's dressed. She got the gazelles on, the big glasses from the 80s and the 90s. She got the little cap on. She looks cute. And Dr. Scott is just dressed like a b-boy or something. And then we had Sweet Tea and Dr. G. Dr. G had on some type. He had a fitted cap with the Bulls on it. It was kind of like diamond out, but it was Chicago Bulls and his jersey. And Sweet Tea looked cute. So they show up. Dr. Heavenly kind of rolling her eyes that they showed up. Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, they're together. Ooh, they're gonna try to beat me up together. Dr. Heavenly is good about that. She'll say whatever she wants to say with her mouth. She likes to argue with people and she's loud about it. But she always acts like somebody, instead of verbally arguing with her, she acts like they're gonna attack her. So she kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but I don't like when she does that. Dr. Contessa can get with you with her mouth. She doesn't have to attack you unless you feel like you are trying to provoke this woman to attack you, which that's not the smartest thing, but I wouldn't put any of that past Dr. Heavenly. I feel like if she thinks someone is going to outshine her, she doesn't really want them on the show. They look at Quad. Quad to me outshines them because Quad, she's doing that talk and all this, putting on her airs and all. And it may be true now because Quad's been putting on these airs for at least the past decade or more. So maybe that's the real her now. But the Memphis Quad that we first saw, Quad's different to me. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. That's mine. Quad is different. Heavenly looks at Quad as kind of like her little pet. So she's not intimidated by Quad. But some of the newer women or the younger women, when they come on, Dr. Heavenly feels it's her business to haze them. Even though I don't remember her really being hazed like that. Actually, Dr. Jackie used to call Heavenly all kind of fats and all kind of stuff. So now they're best friends, but that's the only one that really used to haze her. Now Mariah and Heavenly would get into it, but Mariah would be defending herself. And that season they had where it really kind of turned dark and you could see them doing something behind the scenes with the show. Quad started saying, and every time we argue, she's crying. And then you trying to say you the executive producer and it's not your show. Talking all under Mariah's contract and everything. You don't know details about that. So I don't know where she was getting this from. And I'm glad Mariah's still getting paid, but they were able to wrest control of that show from her. To take that from another Black woman, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone delivered the news. Quad, we haven't forgot about that. And I won't forget about that. And I'd like to see Mariah back whenever she wants to come back. But I know she does. I just saw her on IG. Her and Aiden took Ethan off to college. We first met him. He was 5 years old. And we see him going off to college, getting his pilot's license. He got some hours in to work toward being a pilot. So all the things that she spoke over her children, Ethan wanted to be a pilot. Her daughter, Lauren, she had her little pink and green together when she was little. She was about 7 years old, and she had to put this little outfit together, and it ended up being the AKA colors. Now she's away at college. So I love watching, again, the Married to Medicine children. And Mariah Huq is going to frequently come up because she's the creator of this show. She's the reason why all these ladies have a platform. And it's just sad for me sometimes to see what certain people that look like you will do to you, even though Mariah put them on this platform. I never heard her tell them bow down or none of that. But for them to conspire with these executives behind the scene to try to take something from her, even though she's still getting paid, that's the nastiest kind of work. And I feel like that's the type person Dr. Heavenly is. Because remember, Mariah used to review the show and things like that. They stopped her from doing that. They didn't want her to do it. And then a few years later, Dr. Heavenly over there building a YouTube presence, and she does it. So a lot of the things that she complained about, she's trying to do the same thing. Now she's trying to, in my opinion, trying to get Sweet Tea off the show because she doesn't like Sweet Tea because Quad's uncomfortable with Sweet Tea there. But honestly, Quad would not be here if she had been able to keep the other show she had, the Sister Circle. Only reason she came back to Married to Medicine was because the Sister Circle is no longer. So the men, Dr. Scott greets everybody. Dr. Contessa greets everybody. Heavenly speaks, Dr. Heavenly speaks, and then Contessa has her. She's funny in her confessional. Tessa looks pretty too. She's funny in her confessional. She was saying, "Oh, I'm in costume. She might not have known who I was. She gonna walk up and talk, and because her and Heavenly have not been okay since what went on during Dr. Contessa's season. And then Heavenly just recently did an interview where she's still kind of shading Dr. Contessa, but that's her. It's not Dr. Heavenly. She doesn't shade somebody. So let's see. We got Dr. Simone and Cecil are on the stage. They're on the mic, telling everybody the 35th anniversary of their college graduation, welcoming them to Whitney, and everybody's talking. Everybody's socializing, drinking. The party looked like it has been going on a while since the hosts are on the mic now. Quad pulls up late, as always. So Quad pulls up. Simone recognizes her from the stage. Oh, we have someone uninvited, which Dr. Simone should know. Cecil was going to invite his little sis. He's going to invite Quad. So Quad's in her confessional talking about, I don't care what nobody think. Cecil invited me. If you're going to make up with Dr. Simone, that's not the right attitude. That's not the place to start. And this is their house. So even though Cecil invites you, you're going to have to still come in and be cordial to Dr. Simone. So we have Dr. Scott end up jumping on the mic. He raps and sings. And they did a confessional with Toya and Eugene. And those two, they'll shade somebody in a minute. Dr. Eugene loves to do that. He said he bought Dr. Scott's his first song. And Toya's like, how many times did you listen to it? He said, I listened to it at least one time. He got one stream out of me. So then we see Sweet Tea pull Dr. Damon aside. She wants to talk to him. So Heavenly, they're drinking 40s and everything. This is really 90s inspired. So they had Colt 45 out there, which Heavenly has been drinking. And Damon and Sweet Tea are talking. Greg comes over, they're talking. Dr. Heavenly, where my man? Where my man? She's looking for Dr. Damon. And Sweet Tea, I don't know why she pulled Dr. Damon aside, because she knows Dr. Heavenly doesn't like that. You got to say something to Dr. Damon. Go through Heavenly. If you're a woman, the man can speak directly to him, but Dr. Heavenly has made that clear. I understand that. I'm not even on the show. So Sweet Tea and then they end up arguing. I don't know who called who what first, but Dr. Heavenly ends up calling Sweet Tea out of her name, calls the lady a B. For what? I don't know. Dr. Heavenly, why are you cursing this girl out? You started with her. You went below the belt first. You dragged Dr. Greg in it. And they had every right to feel how they felt and to defend themselves. And that's what they did. Now, Sweet Tea, here's something she did I didn't care for. If she said one more disrespectful thing, I'm doing a cease and desist. This is Bravo. They don't get to sue each other. And some of the people on these other platforms, YouTube, everybody trying to sue each other and all this kind of stuff. On Bravo, I believe they don't get to sue each other. If anybody knows the inside scoop, correct me if I'm wrong, get down in the comments. But you're going to have to defend yourself on this show. I see some people that are trying to take up for Sweet Tea. I think that's important. I'm happy she has that because I do not like the bullying. But Sweet Tea, Dr. Heavenly said something to you, you're going to have to give that back to her. The cease and desist, that's not going to work. Because Bravo, as long as she's not, what she did with the fertility thing and Carlos King, the producer, executive producer over here on another show, that was dead wrong. And I can see why Bravo, I believe, checked Heavenly and checked him on that. But as far as cease and desist and trying to keep Heavenly's mouth off you, that's not going to happen. You're just going to have to defend yourself. And when she talks about you, she talks about Dr. G. Give that right back to her. Give it to Dr. Damon. Because Dr. Damon is a sneak, everybody. To me, in my opinion, allegedly, Dr. Damon's a sneak. When Mariah did her, you want to see the receipts, baby girl? Because I have them. And she sashayed off. Dr. Heavenly was nervous. And that is also something that happened behind the scenes as far as Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly when they were first getting to know each other. Sweet Tea maintains, and I believe her, she maintains that Dr. Heavenly says she do believe that Damon had cheated. Now, of course, they are united front on TV. They're not going to tell us that. It's really none of our business. But since Dr. Heavenly likes to talk about everybody else's relationship and call Dr. G all kind of names and everybody else's husband, he talked about Aiden. Aiden doesn't bother anybody. She talks about Aiden Huck. So anything Dr. Heavenly gets from here on out, I'm with. And I hope Sweet Tea is the one to give it to her. I'm glad Dr. Contessa's back and can defend herself and defend Dr. Scott against what Heavenly is going to bring. Because I can already see we're not going to find out anything new about Heavenly, nothing new about Dr. Damon. She's going to be talking about everybody else in their business. And Dr. Simone Heavenly did the same thing with you. But here you are back in the corner. I don't like when the OGs get together and conspire to, to stamp out the popularity of the newbies before they even get started. It's kind of like you ladies are intimidated, and you don't have to be. You're an OG. Dr. Jackie's not my favorite, but I respect her. I respect her career, her education, everything she's done. Except Curtis. I remember early on seasons, Dr. Jackie wanted to move into a condo in downtown Atlanta, and Curtis talked her into being in the suburbs and all this. And now he's in the DR all the time. So I don't like seeing that, but she likes it. I love it. I'm not going to argue too much about it. But the OGs, you don't have to be intimidated by these newer cast members. Show them how it's done. Like the Grand Dame over there, not a newbie over there can intimidate Karen. Karen Hugo go toe to toe with any of them and leave them in the corner crying. Jump up, run out to the bathroom crying. That's what you need to do, and you can do. And you don't have to call anyone a B. You don't have to talk up under their clothes. You don't have to allow a man to talk about their fertility. Go back to the fun shit. Tell them to pressure wash that house. Well, that's been used, but you know what I mean. So this is season 11. There are 11 seasons in Married to Medicine. This is going to be a fun season. This is going to be a fun season, I think. So we got everybody back. Dr. Contessa is back. Sweet Tea's on her sophomore season. Phaedra is returning. Dr. Jackie's OG. Dr. Heavenly. She started second season, but she's still an OG. Dr. Simone. And then all the spouses. So come over here to Sandra P's Gen Extra. I'm going to do a couple of lives too, so we can talk about the show, talk about what we're looking forward to, and just kind of gossip and get together related to this show. And also when Traders comes back, I'm going to be talking about that as well. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.